How's it going, guys? I hope you're all good. Welcome to another video. So for this one, a lot of you guys saw the last to first highlight video that we put out, and a lot of you really enjoyed it. Appreciate you watching and tuning in. And yeah, basically I got quite a lot of messages and just said, why don't you do the full feature race and like do commentary over it as well, and kind of talk about what you're thinking and feeling while the race is going on, your thought process, etc, etc. So that's basically what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be reviewing the race in full from start to finish. No real edits or anything like that. I'm just going to roll with it. If I talk gibberish and say something stupid, then it is what it is. It's real, right? So yeah, here we go. We're straight into it. So the reason I actually ended up starting back in P33, quickly got into P31, was because I actually got 2 off tracks in qualifying. Now, you'll notice that this is quite an old race. You'll notice things like the old Porsche is here, and you've got the old Ferrari as well. This is because this actual race took place quite a while back. Way back when I was, down in 1.5k. I'm only 3k now, or just over 3k, but lucky to not get a slowdown there. But yeah, so this one took place quite a while back, and I've kind of been sitting on it, but I think it's like the right time to share it now. So yeah, let's sit back and enjoy it. And I instantly knew that I could get past this guy. I knew I had decent pace because I actually did a race before this one. I think I qualified first or second, but got rear-ended on turn 1, so I ended up going from last to first in that one as well. But I didn't actually get first. I got third in that one, or fourth, maybe fifth actually. Maybe I'll show that one too at some point, but yeah, I'm kind of just working my way through the field. I knew quickly that I would be way quicker than these guys at the back of the pack because I was doing like 2.5, 3k times. Spa's one of my best tracks. Someone just spun out there, so just kind of playing it a little bit cautious, a little bit safe, but just taking every opportunity. If someone leaves me a tiny gap, I'm going for it. I was really cheesed off, I remember, messing up qualifying, so I just thought, you know what? Just send it, mate, and see what happens. And to be fair, a lot of people were were fairly respectful. A few guys kind of give me plenty of room. Everyone's being super cautious. It was right at the start of the week as well. Whoa, there's a guy spinning off there, but yeah, there's another geezer. But yeah, as you can see, it was right at the start of the week, and around the 1.5k mark. A lot of the guys kind of jump in with not much practice, so you always get a few spinners. So you have to be really on your guard and cautious. This is why I was kind of just being sensible, being smart, playing the longer game. It's a long race, 45 minutes. So I just kind of making my way through here. There's a gap left open there, so I thought, you know what, I'll go down here and then I'll sneak a couple of positions. So I think I'm going to dive this guy. Yeah, that's right. I dived this guy, and I think I managed to get potentially the white Ferrari on the left too. Or at least, no, he kind of gets better traction out of the corner. I had a bit of wheel spin there. Kind of got on the throttle a bit too early. There's a Audi right up my chuff. So we're up to 16th already. So within one lap, I've gone from P33 to P16. Which is pretty mad. I knew that, I could salvage and gain iRating at this point. I think the highest iRating in this actual lobby is 1.7k back then. So I was kind of the lower end. I think it was car 21 out of 45. Yeah, so car 21 out of 45. So I was right in the middle basically of the iRating, but I knew I was quick. I knew I had decent pace. Spa being one of my favorite tracks as well. I practiced in Spa in the GTE and the GT3 before I even had the A license and B license to be able to race in it. So I knew I was doing fairly decent. It was back when the BMW Z3 GT3, if you guys remember that, I was racing that. But yeah, here we go. So I'm thinking how am I going to get past this guy? I want to dispatch him as early as possible. I full on send it down the inside, but I was respectful. I gave him room. I was just going to see if he was going to be a little bit submissive. Had no traction on the outside there, so we just got the position back straight away, even though we were side by side. And wowza, okay. Well, that guy almost killed the guy ahead of me. So it's quite funny rewatching this because it's been so long. I don't really remember. This is the old Ferrari, which I used to love. Very slidey. But I'm just kind of letting this guy know that I'm here, and I'm not going to be stupid, but I'm certainly don't want to be held up too long by this guy. So full on send it. He's still fighting me on the left hand side. I give him plenty of room, but I get way better traction. He goes really tight on the inside of the chicane there, and we get the move done. Now he's trying to dive me down the inside by the looks of it. You guys can't quite see it, but I can see it in the mirrors, and yeah, he's not happy that I got that position, but there we go. That's another one done. So where are we now? We're up to 14th. So we're actually up to 13th because I overtook the Ferrari after the line. So we're up to 13th now. And at this point, I'm just thinking, just get a top 10, man. Like, if you can just catch these guys ahead and get a top 10, that's decent. Although, I still think top 5 is, like, doable at this point, because I remember from the race before, where, despite having a good qualifying, I got taken out on turn 1. I went from last there, and I knew, I mean, I'm looking at this now, at the level that I'm at now, which isn't much higher, but some of these corners I'm taking is pretty terrible. Yeah, I've definitely improved. But yeah, I was just saying, like the race before, I knew I had decent pace because, like I said, I got taken out on turn 1, spun around. I think I was all the way down in like 30 something, 40 something, and managed to get that back to P5 or P6 or something like that, maybe even slightly higher. So I knew I had a bit about me. So, but yeah, like I said, at this point I'm just thinking, come on, let's just get your head down, put in some decent solid laps, try and catch these guys ahead. You're in P13 now. Top 10 is definitely doable, maybe top 5. I'm not thinking about even getting on the podium at this point. I'm just thinking, just keep going, man. Just, whoa, a little bit of oversteer there. Had to correct it a little bit and catch it. I remember the BMW used to be really, I mean, it used to be really strong back in these times as well, especially around Spa. But the Mercedes was decent as well, so was the Porsche. Ferrari was okay, a little bit slidey, used to burn the tyres up quite badly, you know, because of all the micro slides and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I kind of knew I had pace. So let's just have a quick look at the time. So I did at 18.1, P1 did at 18.9, and then P2 did at 18.5. So even though I had decent pace, so we're not talking like blistering OP pace, you know, I'm not doing like 16s or 17s at this point. I can't even remember the lap times I was doing, but I mean, I knew I was quicker than these guys, but I wasn't like mega OP quicker, I don't think. I think maybe you know, half a second maybe, which is, we're talking like probably 2.5k ish times compared to these guys, which, you know, I think Watkins wasn't long after this. I think I got to maybe 2.2k or something very quickly after this point. Like I said, I can't really remember, it's quite a while ago. So we're looking down the outside now. I knew I couldn't send it there, but this point here is one of my favourite overtaking spots. So I come round here and then I just kind of just give it a little tap and then accelerate harsh on the outside, and then boom, you can get the run on them, and then you can just go side by side, and they just 9 times out of 10 they'll concede. And just as I get past this guy, this fella's got caught in the grate, and I've ended up getting 2. So a little bit lucky again, really, that I managed to get that position. Good overtake on the Ferrari. I kind of set it up well. Oh, I remember. Oh, jeez Louise. I remember that now. Yeah. So, as you can see, I had quite a bit of luck in this run as well. It wasn't like completely clean and loads of overtakes and I got every single one. There must have been 6 or 7 guys just spinning off left, right and centre. And it was almost well and truly over there with that guy. Jeez, that was close. But I started to kind of get a little bit like, oh wow, this is going to be tough to get a top 5 at this point. Because I remember like getting behind this Merc and I was thinking, oh man, they are so far ahead now. I mean, E1, 2 and 3, if you look at the track map in the top right, they're already at Eau Rouge. So they're a decent distance ahead of me, you know. So I'm like, I'm going to have to really punch it to even get like a top, oh I think top 10, like there's I mean I'm in 11th now, so I was like definitely thinking top 10 was doable, but top 5 I didn't think that was quite achievable, to be honest. I remember as well that I don't think I was burning up as much fuel as everyone else as well, if I remember right. I seem to remember I was quite cautious on fuel, because I remember my teammates all mentioning, one in particular was mentioned, who was actually in this race as well. He started behind me. Great livery, by the way. Yeah, I remember him saying like, oh man, you're burning way less fuel than me. So I remember like, pretty sure I get a couple of guys in the pits maybe, or like definitely close the gap at least. Again, one of my favourite corners to set up, getting a really good exit and run out of that corner, and then kind of holding that inside and just forcing them to concede. Because well, they can stick it around the outside if they want, and like, you know, I take the inside line, but it's so risky. You know, you got, you know, marbles and stuff out there, it could end up in disaster. So 9 times out of 10 people will just concede at that point, just because it's just not worth it. I mean, the guy can see I was quicker than him too. So yeah, we're punching it now. We're in the top 10. Pretty sure I got very lucky with the next car ahead. I have a feeling it took me a little while to catch these guys, but when I eventually did, pretty sure this is the guy that just randomly spun out in front of me at the top of Eau Rouge. Can't quite remember, it's a while ago now, but pretty sure it was this guy. Came on him pretty fast actually. Surprisingly fast. Now I'm just like, banging the laps, everyone's spread out, just see what you can do. At 18.7 that lap, whereas everyone else's times are dropping off, my times are actually staying around about the same. 18.1 was my fastest, 18.7 is not bad, but as you can see, like I said, I mean the track temp's hot, it's 38 degrees, but I was just super good on my tyres, super good with fuel. And I just remember like, I was able to keep a good consistent pace throughout, whereas people's times would drop off dramatically, whereas mine weren't. It was handy setup as well that we had, so that obviously played a part. But it's quite funny watching yourself back. Like, I mean, I can't remember how long this race was, you know, how long ago it was, maybe 2 years or something. It's funny watching yourself back and seeing how much you've improved compared to how you used to be, you know. Like, it's good to document these things and kind of like remember where you've come from and where you are now. I'm not saying that I'm high I rating now, because I'm not. You know, I'm like just over 3k, trying to push into 4k by the end of this year. That's my plan. Unfortunately, not raced as much as I would like. I mean, we won the 24 hour at Spa the other week, which was really cool. But running a team is very time consuming, so unfortunately I haven't been able to race as much as I'd like. But yeah, it's good just to look back now and again, you know, and kind of like remember how you used to be and see how much you've improved. Pretty cool, man. But we've really gapped the guy behind, I mean way faster than him. I'm charging now, like full concentration mode, sending it, knowing that I could probably try and get a top 5 at this point. And also the fact that they're so spread out as well, I'm thinking, oh, if I just get a chance to like dive down the inside or get side by side with any of these guys, I'm going for it. 18 flat. See, like, consistency for me on the laps is good. No real drop off, but the times ahead, they're all dropping off into the 19. Only P1 and P2 are still in the 18s, you know? So at this point, over the last 5, I'm quicker than everyone apart from P1 and P2. But still, pushing hard. Definitely feel a top 5 for sure. Got P9, P8, and P7 ahead of us. P6 and P5 and all that are just round these corners. Oh, and there we go. Another one bites the dust. Just lucky, really. I mean, that could have been the difference between me getting like P2 or P3 potentially, and winning the race, maybe, you know. Because like, if I got held up by that guy for so long, then it could have been a bit of a disaster. So, yeah, now I'm just like, thanks very much, take that all day long, push on to the next one. Let's see what we can do. We've got 25, just over 25 minutes remaining in the race. Still got the pits to do. I do remember either making up a lot of time in the pits or actually maybe even gaining positions in the pits as well. So yeah, just pushing hard at this point, just trying to keep up with these guys. I knew that the Ferraris would start to struggle with their tyres when, you know, about 20-25 minutes in, something like that. So I'm pushing hard now, keeping up the lap times. Trying to keep it as smooth as possible, super clean, super tidy, and just see what we can do. Just keep gunning and gunning and gunning, putting pressure on as much as I possibly can, staying focused, and just hitting every apex and braking at the right points. No mistakes, can't afford any mistakes. Nice. Just set this guy up. I'm actually like studying his car control and movement at this point, just to see where his tyres are at, but also like, is this guy gonna potentially like shut the door on me last minute? Is he gonna play fair? And you know, I'm just like seeing what traction he's getting out the corners, see quickly, oh well, okay, this guy's still got some decent tyre. Did 18.1, so again, super consistent lap times all the way through, no real drop off. I was like, oh, this guy is gonna be tough to overtake. He's got great traction out the corners, no wheel spin. He's not really pushing overly hard, so I know his tyres are in a decent spot. Just like, right, how am I going to set this guy up, you know? Like, there's no way I was going to get him here. So I'm just thinking, maybe is it, you know, one of my favourite spots to overtake? Can I get him there? Like, he makes a bit of a mistake there, so I close the gap, and I'm like, do I send it down here? No, probably not a good idea. He's not driving erratically, so that's obviously a good sign, but I'm definitely thinking, right, can I get him here? Like, let's do the little dab and send it and see what happens. And boom, he makes a huge mistake, runs wide with the oversteer because of, you know, the Ferrari being Ferrari. He just concedes straight away. He just knows that he fucked up, basically, and that's all she wrote. So, next, BMW power. BMW versus BMW. Now, I know this thing has crazy straight line, so I was like, same with the Merc as well, crazy straight line, so I was like, yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I think I overtook one of his teammates previously, so pretty sure it's a similar livery to what you've already seen. Could be wrong, but I seem to remember there was 2 teammates. Yeah, we're just pushing hard now, trying to get behind this guy. The first thing I remember checking this guy out and kind of eyeing him up to figure out how I was going to get past was he's probably on the same setup as me, because again, the straight line speed is very good. But the thing I did notice, he was really slow out of the corners. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, okay. So, you know, what are good corners potentially to set this guy up and you know, maybe out drag him. That's what I was kind of thinking. If you're noticing, by the way, in the top right hand corner, the track map, you'll see me, which is the logo. the Denison logo. But if you see the green 26, that's actually a teammate of mine. I won't mention who it was, but he's one of the oldest guys in the team. He's been around since day dot, and he never used to be able to keep up with me then, and he still can't now. Love you, Bruce. But yeah, anyway, so like I said, we're just pushing hard, just trying to close the gap to this Beamer. I knew he was decent paced, he was quick. I mean, he's doing mid 19s where I'm doing high 18s. However, like I said, the straight line speed of the car is I knew is strong. So it's going to be all about the corners for me, or maybe under braking. Can't exactly remember how I end up getting past this guy. He may have made a mistake, or might even been in the pits. I'm not sure, but let's see how we get. I know we're definitely getting closer though. We're closing down the gap. Man's throwing loads of rocks at me. So yeah, as you see there, he's struggling with grip and traction because it's all the car is set up for straight line speed. I was just kind of fortunate when I was looking after my tyres and stuff. I was able to really look after it. Tons of dirty air there. Turned in, literally just started sliding. So the rear is a bit sketch. So I had to take that off track there. And yeah, lost a bunch of time unfortunately. That at 19. That time's out. No way I did it 18.7 again, did I? Was it 18.7 like bang on? Or does it not count because it was an off track? Maybe it don't count in the replay because it was an off track. We're a little bit closer anyway, so now we're going to start looking to attack. And at this point I'm starting to believe, oh, I can definitely potentially get a top 5 here. I think I was doing well on fuel at the time. I was looking after the tyres. I'm thinking during the pits I'm going to close the gap, maybe even gain a couple of positions. Top 5 is on. Let's go for it now. Let's really go for it. You can see this guy was definitely struggling through the corners, being very tentative. Now I'm just waiting and biding my time for the right opportunity. Oh, he missed that apex there. He ran wide, so it's maybe allowed me to close it up even more. Might have a go at him on the inside here actually. I'm better on the brakes than him as well. Maybe did I send it down the inside here? Try and outbrake him? I might have done. Yeah, I did it early too, just to let him know I was coming. He gave me plenty of room, which was good. Fair play. I did the old switcheroony on him. Right on my outside still. Managed to gain that, keep the position. Like, good battle to be fair. Decent battle. Because I didn't see the apex, so the spider's just crawling on me right now, but because I didn't see the apex, bro, I just turned my volume up mental. I think there's a spider attacking me right now, sorry guys. But but yeah, I didn't see the apex obviously, because obviously I was dealing with him. So I kind of made a mistake there and lost quite a bit of time again. Someone's in the pits, it looks like. Yeah, Eduardo Lucas has gone into the pits. I think I gain another position here. Terrible traction out of that corner there. I was hoping to kind of get a decent run and hopefully get him up a Rouge, but obviously he's matching us on straight line pace, so I've got to find somewhere else to get him. I'm pretty sure we're running the same setup. Might have had to lift there, to be honest. Do I send it here? I think I do. And I should. Yeah, there we go. And then I just outbrake him. Boom. Job done. And now I'm out of his dirty air as well, which is good. Now I can push on. So the car ahead is a lapped car. In the Porsche. He had a bit of a nightmare, bless him. Might have been one of the guys that spun early or got hit. So yeah, a little bit of a gap now to the cars ahead. But we're up to, I think, P6. Yeah, P6 we're up to now. We're technically P7 because one of the guys pitted early. But I don't remember if he comes out in front of us or we managed to get him in the pit phase, or can't remember, so we'll have to see. But yeah. Now, I do remember potentially thinking, shall I pit? Because I don't want to get stuck behind this Porsche. Don't want him to be a pain. I don't want his dirty air. I don't want him overheating my tyres. Do I pit early and try and do the undercut? Because I really don't want to mess things up. It's going really well right now, and I can't remember what I decided to do, but I do think I may pit early here. Someone else is in the pits, and yep, here we go. So, decided to pit. Other guys ahead of me have also pitted. Pretty sure it was like a lap early, but I think it was the right decision. Good solid pit stop, straight on the line. But yeah, I remember pitting because I remember like the feeling the dirty air from the car in front. I knew I'd looked after my tyres well. I was doing good consistent times. I'd saved fuel because I just wasn't heavy on the throttle like most people. And yeah, I just remember like I don't want to get stuck by. Oh, hello. We might have gained a position there as well. Yep, looks like we have. I think we gained a position right there. But yeah, I knew I didn't want to get stuck behind that lapped car because I just knew it was going to be a pain and it would just overheat the tyres and it wouldn't be good. So yeah, I think if I was to do the race again in hindsight, I'd probably make the same decision, pit early, you know. So now it's literally full send. I think I remember looking at the tyres going, wow, they're looking great right now. Let's just fully go for it. Which we'll later find out maybe wasn't quite the right choice. Because you'll see what happens, and I'll kind of explain it to you when it comes, but I decided to kind of take too much out of the tyres too early. And yeah, the final sort of positions to try and gain were very difficult because of that. So I should have maybe been a little bit more conservative and then fully went for it. But here we are nevertheless. We're now chasing down a Mercedes, which again is incredibly good in a straight line. So it was going to be very much about pick the right spot to get the job done. It is either going to be in the corners or it was going to be trying to outbrake them, because of the BMW's brakes at the time, probably still are to be fair, the brakes were incredible compared to the Mercedes. So I don't know if that's still the case, but it certainly was back when this race took place. As you can see, just under the braking alone, I'm gaining so much time on it. So here we go. Pushing hard now. Tyres have like cooled down a little bit during the pits and stuff as well, which is handy. Just means I can properly send it. I think I did some of my fastest laps in the second part of the race, if I remember right. But again, I mean, this Mercedes was so fast in a straight line. It's actually pretty crazy. really gain too much at this point. But as you can see, this is where I'm gaining. So I knew braking was the place to get this guy. I knew under braking. Oh, I missed that apex. Wow. I really missed that apex. Oh, we're up to P5 anyway. Didn't realise that. We're actually in P5 at this point. Must have gained that position in the pits. Perhaps that guy didn't come out again. Can't remember the guy's name. Might have been Rafa Oliver. But yeah, I knew under braking. Like when you're behind someone, this is what I do, and I recommend yourselves as well. Scan and analyze what they're doing. Like, how are they driving the car? Are they weak in certain points? Is there certain corners they're not particularly good at? Almost lost the rear there, so had to catch it. A little bit of dirty air playing a part, but also the fact that the car's so set up for straight line speed, it's a bit sketch. But I knew under braking, you know, I was way quicker than this guy under the braking. That was his weak spot. He's actually defending on the inside here. And then he brake checks me, which I was like, oh wow. Okay. Now it could have been a genuine, you know, he's overshot the corner, overslowed the car. But it felt at the time that he properly brake checked me. I was pretty unhappy with it. At this point now I've got front end damage. I got a 4X from it, so I was like, oh man, what is that all about? But now I'm like, right, you know, I'm gonna fully send it at every opportunity I get. I'm just gonna send it. Whether or not the little touch that we had caused him straight line speed or damage, I don't know, but he kind of like almost had to lift in. He almost rammed me. You guys can't quite see it, but he actually almost rammed me to close the distance. I was like, wow, this guy is something else. So yeah, I managed to get past him and then just kind of squeezed him out there just to make sure he didn't get the position back, because I was no way was I going to let him go back past after that little bit of shenanigans. Did I notice the damage? Not really, I'll be honest, but potentially he had a little bit of damage there, which is why I managed to get past him. I'm not entirely sure, but I didn't really notice it too much. But I don't think he potentially like brake checked me on purpose. I think he like you know, kind of shot past the corner a little bit and overslowed the car to kind of counter it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Part of racing, isn't it? No harm, no foul. Both come away with it, but we're all good. Now we're in fourth, and now I'm thinking there's a bit of a gap to P3, 2 and 1, but they are bunched together. So can I, over the next couple of laps, bearing in mind we've only got about 4 laps remaining at this point, can I, over the next couple of laps, close the position down, and can I get the job done? Can I achieve a last to first? You know, I wasn't plumb last in 45th, but I didn't set a time in quali, and it was about as low as I could go, pretty much. So yeah, 33 to try and get first position now, and I'm really pumped. I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I'm like praying that this damage isn't too bad. And I noticed it in 18.9, and I was like, is that just because I had to do an overtake and I was like offline a little bit? Like, is my times good enough? Or, you know, do I have damage to the point where I'm not going to catch these guys ahead? So I was like, do you know what? Just give it everything. Don't give up. Just full on send it. And just to see what the lap times are like. Over the next couple of laps, trying to catch these guys ahead. Just absolutely nail every apex. You know, get on the throttle as early as you dare. Brake as late as you can. Just go for it. Which in hindsight, I probably should have done that, but maybe like 90% rather than 100%, because, like I said, near the end of the race, my tyres were absolutely, completely, well and truly shot to bits. And it was a struggle. It was a real struggle, I can assure you. So yeah. Now at this point, we're just absolutely trying to eke out every tenth of lap time, just trying to see where my pace is at. Like, I've got a bit of clear air, I'm trying to chase these guys ahead. Like, do I have the pace to potentially win this race? That's what I'm like thinking right now. Can I get it done? I'm closing the gap, but I did notice that P3 dropped off P1 and P2 at this point, so I'm like, oh man, this is actually kind of good. You know, if I can get past P3, maybe I can then close the gap on P1 and P2 who are fighting. So straight away here, I noticed I'm good under braking. I am good under braking compared to this guy. He's got better traction than me. He's in a Porsche. Now, let's look at the lap time. This is important because I needed to know where my pace was. 18.2. So I knew my pace wasn't bad. So I was like, damn, I've still got decent pace. Okay, this damage isn't playing too much of a part. I'm definitely quickest on track. Let's keep going. Like, consistency again. 18s, 18.1s, 18.2s. Like, always mid to low 18s unless I'm dealing with traffic or whatever, overtaking people. I knew I had good pace. Over the last 5, you know, definitely quicker by, you know, a few tenths compared to like P2, for example. I was a second quicker over the last 5 compared to P1, and 6 tenths quicker, 7 tenths quicker than P3 over the last 5. So on average, but I knew when I was analysing this guy as I was gaining on him. I'm really good under the brakes compared to him, but his traction is absolutely filth. So I knew that if I was to get the job done at this point, I need to make sure that it's properly closed. The door is properly closed once I got the overtake done, so he couldn't dart up the inside of me. So I wasn't sure whether I could get him done on a fast corner or whether it was going to be a slow corner, because I thought maybe a slow corner is probably not going to be the best spot. Because yeah, I might get the overtake done, but then he's just going to gain amazing traction after the corner and probably just get by me again. So all that hard work would just go to waste, and we both lose time, and it's like pointless, you know. I also knew as well that these guys being in the podium spots, they are not going to give it up easy, and I'm going to have to play a little bit hard and a little bit rough to get some of these done. Not something I would like to do all the time. I'm not a driver that fully sends it like an absolute idiot and starts jostling and doing unnecessary moving under braking or when I'm defending or anything like that. That is not me. I give my opponents respect, but on the other side of it, we are race drivers. We are in a race. We're race drivers, racing car drivers. We're going for it. We're fighting for positions. So as long as you have that, you go up to the line, but you don't cross the line, then it's all good. Like, some people might have just darted it and sent it down the inside there, but I didn't. And I knew under braking I was so much better than him. He's got better traction, but I knew under braking I had it. So at this point, I kind of forced him a little bit wide. Again, he had bad exit because of that. Yes, he had better traction, but now I'm like, you're mine, mate. You're mine, because I've forced him to be slower on this straight because of the little, not full send. It was definitely not a full send down the inside, but it was just stick my nose in a place where it's not wanted, just so I can get the job done. And this guy, to his credit, he doesn't outbrake himself, but he's right on the limit there, and I had to kind of go side by side with him for a little bit, but then I had decent traction. And then I noticed P1 and P2 got a little bit held up by this car ahead, which is a lapped car. And I was like, wow, these guys are a lot closer now. So now I'm thinking this could be on. This could be a win. We're running out of laps, but I'm definitely sitting there thinking I could potentially win this race. All I'm sitting at this point, I'm thinking, please, Mr. Lapped car, do not hold me up, bro. Like, you are literally the difference maker for me potentially winning this race and ending it. Wow. That is not a good place to just release off the throttle to let someone go. And he read my mind, because I'm literally going, please don't hold me up. Like, this, you're the difference maker. I could win, you know, if you hold me up, you could cost me a win. And then he's like, I'll let you go, but he did not let go in the right place. P2 crashes out, loses the rear completely. And now I'm like, oh my god, this is the luckiest day of my life. We're going down to, I think 1 or 2 laps. I'm not sure if this is the white flag. I think maybe the next lap is the white flag. Yeah, I think there's 2 laps left at this point. And I'm like, wow, dude. P2 just crashed out, lost the rear on the curb. Tough corner to get right sometimes, I'm not going to lie. Especially when the tyres start to wear out as well. And the Porsche is like notoriously pretty bad on the rear. And I'm like, oh my. I've got 1 lap to catch this guy and 1 lap to get him. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, wow. Let's go. Let's absolutely go. Come on, I'm in P2. Can I get P1? Can I do a last to first challenge? Not planned, but can I get it done? Can I get the job done now? And I noticed straight away this guy's struggling. And I noticed straight away he's struggling with mostly his tyres. He seems to have like really bad traction and grip going around certain points. He starts braking a little bit like later as well, I noticed as well. Now I'm just like, come on, link it all up, hook it all up, let's go. I remember as well, I was sweating so much, like dripping off me. I was like fully concentrating, putting everything I had into this. And you'll see there, do you see those little micro slides around that corner? That's my tyres basically screaming at me, going, "We ain't got much left, mate. You're on literally tender hooks. We don't have much left." And now I'm like, I'm gaining on this guy. Like, I can win this. I was like, I can actually win this. So here we go. P33, currently in P2. Now I'm fighting for P1. And I'm pretty sure it's like the last lap after this. Could be even like another lap after this as well, I'm not sure. But here we go. Is it the white flag? Not quite, no. So maybe another lap after this. So yeah, I'm gunning for this guy big time. He's struggling with his tyres, I'm struggling with my tyres. We're both pushing hard. He's obviously desperate to keep the lead and keep the win. I've worked my way through literally the entire field. Had a lot of luck on the way. Not going to deny that. Sometimes you need a little luck though, right? Yeah, now we're really going for it. I'm hitting every apex. He's kind of missing, making a few mistakes here and there. Starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Now I'm like right up his chuff. Brakes feeling good, everything's feeling good. Around wide there, just no grip. Track temp's 36 degrees Celsius, so it's warm. P3's like dropped way back, so not concerned about behind at all. I was like, wow, this guy's still got decent pace. Like, holy smokes, he's faster than me through there. But under braking again, I felt like I was way better. And we're both in the same machinery as well, so straight line speed, we're both solid. And here we go again under the brakes. Constantly under braking, I was just so much faster. Rear's going a bit funny there with the dirty air. And now I'm thinking this could be a chance. Like, If he lifts at all here, I'm like, just if he makes a mistake or just lifts, maybe I can get him. No, okay. Let's see what the braking is like then. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, now he's missed the apex completely. Let's get a good run. Let's get a good run. Do the switchback. Makes a mistake. We're on the white flag lap. This is it. The last lap of the race. I am now in P1. He doesn't quite send it on the inside, but I give him room. He does put his nose where it's not wanted. And he's still kind of there. But I just about get in front of him now. So, but I'm like, oh no. I'm going to have to defend hard. I'm going to have to defend real hard. He's literally right behind me. He's right up me right now, literally. I'm like, I'm just going to stay to the right. I'm just going to stay to the right. I'll force him around left and I'll close the gap a little bit so he doesn't have quite as much room. And he's on my left right now. We're side by side. And boom. Got the job done. He had to concede. Which he does. And now he's still right behind me. He's literally... We are fighting to the death on this last lap. And yeah, I'm just like, don't make a mistake. Don't make any mistakes. Totally focus. Like, if you don't make any mistakes and you defend well, he can't get back past you. It's impossible. You're better on the brakes, so just defend, man. Like, just send it. So I literally gave everything I had left. And he struggled so bad in the dirty air with his tyres pretty much shot. He was struggling real bad to keep up in the dirty air, and I pretty much knew at this point that I had the win secured. So I just, like I said, just needs to make sure I don't make any mistakes and just bring it home. I was concerned here because I was like, oh man, this is really slippery, but yeah, ultimately, like, consistency is king, right? If you look at my lap times, they're very, very consistent, very decent lap times compared to the iRating that I was at the time. But it was consistent all the way through. Last corner, I'm proper nervous at this point. I'm like, don't make a mistake. He actually outbrakes himself trying to like get me on the last corner. But I managed to get the job done. Managed to defend him off. And there we go. We take the win. So yeah, really good result. Really pleased. I was buzzing when I did it. And yeah, basically that's the last the first challenge that I did. Wasn't planned, but we got the job done regardless. So, but anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks a lot for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like the video, and of course subscribe for more content, as we will be posting every single week. Cheers, guys. Take it easy. Have a good one.